Hello YouTubers, welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to talk about the new legendary mod system. I'm going to try and explain in layman terms for those that found it confusing as myself. So I've kind of started playing around with that, so correct me if I do get anything wrong. Angry Turtle made a couple of videos on this, at least one that I'm aware of. So check those out on his channel. I want you to know who Angry Turtle is, but I'm going to try and explain my version of that and what I understand how the system works, and kind of comments around how to go about getting these legendary effects and whether I don't agree with it or not. So as you kind of know that the system has changed. You can no longer roll like we used to using the legendary modules. You can still get them, but they're used to actually create different mods from plans that you scrap. So you need to actually scrap weapons, and again, it's going to be RNG. Sometimes and very rare actually, but you'd have to scrap quite a few weapons to get different mods, and there's a list out there with the different mods. So why don't we start off with that? And so why don't I start off with the mods itself? So you've probably been and you've seen these mods at people's weapon workbenches. Sorry, the vendors. And so if I take a quick look, you've probably seen a bunch of different mods and kind of wonder what these are. And so if we look, you'll see stuff like vampires and a lot of people seem to be, it's kind of range, but I've seen them selling anywhere from 1,000 to 10,000. I haven't really seen them selling much more than that, but I'm sure, they're probably, I'm surprised that some of the Legendary 3 ones are selling for approximately the same price. But again, it depends what you're looking for and, what people, like anything else, want to sell it for. But pay attention to the amount of stars because that's going to come into play, I think. And so in this case, we have a Vampires 1 star. So when I go and modify a weapon, for example, let me actually go and jump out of my power armor here, and I'll kind of show you that. And so you can't actually roll a weapon, but if you either craft a new weapon, you can roll the weapon for the first time, but after that you're gonna have to apply mods to it, if that kind of makes sense. And so if I kind of went down, this one has a 1 star on it, and so if we go add legendary, we can actually add some additional legendary effects. So I can add either a random 2 and then a 3, or just a 3, which will add the additional. But once it's been modified, you cannot change it. So you probably noticed if we go down here to, for example, this guy, you'll notice you can't actually roll for any new mods because it already had 3 mods. But we can actually change it. So if I wanted to change this to a vampire, for example, let's say I've gone to someone's vendor, I've purchased one of the mods. You've seen those mods out there. Some sell 10, 15 mods. Some sell a few, depending on what they can build and what they're willing to sell. But you'll notice I have a vampire mod that I purchased for 10,000 caps, right? And so I can actually apply this, and it's going to actually apply it to that 1 star effect. So just kind of keep that in mind if you're looking for a vampire or whatever effect you're looking for, whether it's a 2 star, 3 star. Just kind of be aware that if you go down here if you go into the 2 star, you don't see the vampire because that's a 1 star effect there, right? And so you're only going to see the effect depending on what star it is, right? So just kind of keep that in mind if that kind of makes sense. So if you're worried about, I'm going to change the wrong effect, you shouldn't be. It'll list it under whatever effect that you've purchased that under, and you'll notice this one just has whatever I rolled it at the time, which is this instigating, crippling, steadfast effect, right? But if I wanted to change this to a vampire, because I purchased that, if I actually clicked on this, it's going to warn me, do you want to change this or replace a legendary effect, increase the cost, and then I'll apply that mod, and then it becomes a vampire, right? when you're scrapping weapons, when you're actually scrapping weapons, sometimes you'll get a plan. Again, very rare, but it does happen. And you'll know this, and you'll know if you've actually got a plan. If you go to the Tinker's workbench, if you don't have any plans, you're not going to see this item. But if you have a plan, you'll notice there is now a menu item called Legendary Mods, right? And if you click on this, I've unlocked the explosive 2-star mod. What this really means is now I can actually create mods with 2-star. And you'll notice on the right hand side there, I'm going to need 30, in order for to create this mod, I'm going to need 30 modules to be able to build this mod. And in this case, I'm going to need 1 explosive bobblehead, right? And so that's quite expensive. And according to Angry Turtle, every time you create an additional mod, it's going to require some additional cores. So it does get more expensive the more you create, I think. So just kind of keep that in mind. Pay attention to how many legendary modules it'll cost to create. So you still need legendary modules. So you still need to scrap your armor. My understanding is you don't get any benefit from scrapping armor. Correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody knows. I think that's what Angry Turtle said. So you may as well just send those in at the legendary machine to get some additional scripts so you can buy some modules, right? Some of these mods will actually require some serums. So you're going to need to, in order to, in this case, I only need this bobblehead and legendary cores, but for different ones, you're going to need some serums such as, different fluxes that you have. So for example, if I go to my scrap box here, and so just kind of keep that in mind. So you're going to need, at some point, you're going to need some flux, probably it's going to be a variant, but probably, more likely it's going to be violet. The harder ones is my guess. But crimson, fluorescent, so you're going to need some of that anyway. So just kind of keep that in mind when you do get the plan. Kind of pay attention to what you need, and then if you don't have the right ingredients, you're going to have to actually go get those ingredients and apply them, right? Let me actually show you. So if we look at, I want to actually demonstrate this, what I want to actually do here. And so I have this instigating, minigun, and so I want to actually create a bash-in, just to kind of show you how this is actually going to work in reality. Let's go ahead and apply that vampires, because it's already has some legendary effects, which is an instigating limb damage. Let's go ahead and apply that mod, and then what I'd really want to actually find is a bash-in. I can actually just mod it to have bash-in, but also have the bash-in legendary effect. So I'll probably be looking out for that. But let me show you when we apply the mod what it actually looks like. So again, let's go into modify mode. And we can go down to, again, we're going to go to, it'll only list it under 1 star. And so because I have that mod, again, I already purchased that mod. And again, I just want to demonstrate that. So if I go into my mod section, you'll notice I have the vampires mod, which is tradable, right? And so it's kind of just in there. You can drop it, you can sell it, whatever you want, right? And so we're going to go to modify. We're going to go to this minigun, and I'm a big vampire fan, as you could probably tell. And so we're going to instigating, and we're going to go down, and we're going to actually select the mod. Just like any other mod, you're going to apply the mod. It takes 10 scripts, so the different, I think that's what was mentioned, is a different script. The more you kind of make modifications, the more scripts, so it gets more expensive. So you're not going to be able to do this in an unlimited fashion. But But now you notice it is now a vampire's minigun with crippling and steadfast. Ideally, I want to have, as you can see, if we go down to bashes, which is kind of what I wanted for this one, which is kind of the best one in my opinion, I think. But I could also have explosive. I do have the plan, so I could actually just build that and create that explosive. And we can go ahead and do that. Hitman, and I'll just show you again, just in real time, as building that. And you can have different mods for that one, right? And then, you know, for the Legendary 3, you know, you have different mods. And I think there's going to be this, I think Andrew Total mentioned the fact that there's, and it's pretty well known by now, going to be 4-star weapons out, right, with additional mods, right? So let's go ahead and build a explosive mod. I'm probably not going to apply it in this case, but I'll show you that I'm going to build it and what that kind of looks like. So we go to our Tinker's Workbench. Again, you have to have the plan. It's only going to show up once you have a plan. And as you scrap more weapons, you will find plans. And I think you may get mods from different events that are dropped, and you may actually get plans, just like any other plan. But again, it's probably going to be quite rare. But in this case, we need 1 bobblehead and 1 legendary module. 30 legendary modules. So let's go ahead and build that. And as you can see, 30 legendary modules and 1 explosive, which I have both of at the moment, right? And so if we back out of that, it's now given me a explosive in my mod section, explosive 2-star mod that I can now go to the weapon workbench, and if I wanted to, I could apply it to a weapon, but I'm going to use the same weapon as my example here. We'll go down to the vampire minigun that I had here, which will be this guy here. And so if we go down to vampire 1-star, again, nothing's going to show up because it's a 2-star mod. Okay, which is vampire. But if we go down to this 2-star, you'll notice I now have this explosive. So if I wanted to apply this to create explosive, so in my opinion, it seems like a better system. I think they probably should have kept both. I don't see a reason why they couldn't have kept both. I don't know. There were probably some complications, and so the people that wanted to actually roll constantly using script could do that, and then the people that wanted to build mods and do it in the new way could do that as well, having both options. But they've killed the rolling, and there's probably a thought behind that and why they've done that. But once you get into this, it'll kind of make sense. So there's kind of the layman's term of how to go around and mod weapons. And like I said, if you build a new weapon, you can roll it, and it'll get 3. Depending on which. But if you chose 3-star, you'll get three legendary effects, and then you can't roll again. After that, you're gonna have to just get the mods or build the mods over time, and allow you to apply it directly to the weapon, and then you can actually change. The only downside of this is you do run the risk of potentially scrapping your favorite weapon. So make sure your favorite weapons are not in you're not carrying it on you, it's in your stash, or you favorite it, just to avoid making a mistake. And obviously be super careful when you are scrapping legendary weapons that you don't scrap your weapon by mistake, because once you scrap it, it's gone, right? And so that's kind of the risk makes me a little bit nervous. So I don't know if somebody has comments around that, and just other than being super careful, right? But let's go ahead and scrap this weapon. So again, 1-star, yeah, and 1-stars do give you. I think I got the explosive. I think I got the explosive 2-star plan from a 1-star weapon. So do scrap 1-star weapons as well. They're not just typically going to come from a 3-star, I think, or it's 2-star, which I would have probably thought. I think I got it from 1-star. I could be wrong there. And so yeah, if we go ahead and if we wanted to scrap this guy, and again, I'm just pretty much scrapping all weapons, and then I just take all the armor and I cash it in at the machine. And so we're gonna scrap this weapon. It's gonna say accept. It's gonna ask you, which is great, Are you sure you want to scrap this? So always kind of take a pause and take a moment. Make sure you're not scrapping your favorite weapon, because once it's gone, once it's gone. And then you go down, and yeah, you can't, if you just click, 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 it'll just say don't scrap. But you go down, you say scrap legendary weapon, and then if you do get a plan, it'll pop up saying in the top left-hand corner, you have got this plan. And like I said, if you go to the Tinker's workbench, is really how you're going to tell if you've actually got a plan. And you do get script. You do get a little bit of script. I think it's 4 script, or depending on the weapon, probably every time you scrap a legendary weapon. But yeah, if you go down to your legendary mod, and this is how you see that you've actually unlocked a certain plan, will be, yeah. And if you don't see your legendary mod menu on your Tinker workbench, you haven't unlocked any plans, and so you just have to unlock that first plan for it to start showing up. And then as you unlock or scrap more weapons, then more plans will unlock over time, or you might get awarded it and over time, right? Through events. But yeah, again, that's kind of layman's terms. Go and check out Angry Turtle's videos. He's more in tune with the stuff than I am, but that's kind of what I've seen so far. I think I kind of like it. It's a good change once you kind of realize how, and I think it's a little bit easier, but it's not like you can go around and create the exact weapon you want until you've found either the mod or the plans. And you know, I guess with various people selling different mods, and they're not going to be selling their prized mods, and they're going to keep those for themselves probably, and then maybe sell the weapons or something. But it sounds like a good system. Anyway, that's my 2 cents, if you will. Let me know what you think about it, whether you like the new system, whether you hate it, whether we should have kept both systems, whether you think there's a reason why they only decided to keep the new system. Maybe it's just to push people towards the new system and get used to it and kind of forget about the old one. But yeah, I kind of enjoyed rolling, just kind of just the idea of rolling and seeing what came out of the roll. But again, totally RNG, and generally 99.9% of the time you don't get what you want anyway. So maybe this is a better system overall. Anyway, thanks for watching, enjoy, and I will see you in the next one. And I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please hit the like button and please comment, because it helps the channel out. Thanks a lot.